Welcome to a Wednesday night edition of Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports Podcast. And I guarantee you, no matter how long we're on tonight, whether it be an hour or 2 hours, it's worth your time and effort to watch it and listen to it. We had a comment last week that told people not to watch it. So,
yeah, but that guy obviously didn't even listen to what was said. So,
yeah. Anywho, we're going to talk more portal stuff, men and women, some recruiting, and some football stuff. But in the meantime, we are gaining subscribers crazy. And just continue to hit that subscribe button if you're watching. It's right there in front of you. Hit the like button too. That helps with the algorithm. And just, just keep it going for us. Share it, comment, everything. And you put your comments on here live tonight, and we'll do our best to try to get it to as many as we can and answer any questions or read your comments. This show is partly for you too. Our Kyle and Rick got some family obligations tonight, so they won't be with us tonight. So here we go. We're going to get started. I think we're going to start with a little bit of spring football first, or football news, and Calvin's got something going on there with it.
Okay. First of all, been putting up practice highlights, which you can't really deem a lot from practice highlights. They'll show a quarterback making a super pass or something, whether it's Heck or Brown or Sullivan or Fitzgerald. I heard a people I know that's been at practice said, "Oh, don't overlook Fitzgerald. I hope he does not leave Iowa. He's a walk-on." Of course, Fitzgerald's son that coaches Michigan State now. But keep putting up highlights of Diaz catching passes. Seems like he's got good hands and stuff. Only other thing is, I think Preston Reeves, I think we mentioned it in the last podcast, might have tweaked a hamstring and wasn't practicing at that time. 2 weeks from tomorrow is the NFL draft, first day of the draft, and 2 weeks from Saturday is the spring game. Jennings Dunker was quoted. He was there watching practice, and he says Allgaier is going to play. He'd be a redshirt freshman offensive lineman. And then he commented on young Reardon that he has tremendous feet, quick feet, just great feet. He said he's not physically ready to play as a true freshman. And by the way, Reardon's brother, a defensive end from the Hinsdale, Illinois, it's in the Chicago area. He committed like yesterday or day before. He's a 4-star defensive end. I can't remember from the last podcast, but I think Riley Newman might have been committed by then, the offensive tackle out of Ohio that Indiana wanted. He's a tremendous prospect. And we got the offensive tackle from Vander Zee and Lutmer School, the big offensive tackle, Brenneman. He's like 6'7", and he committed a couple days ago too. So that's commitment news. News on Nayrot, the quarterback, who Iowa's been favored on all the time. He kind of threw a little loop at us. He visiting Oregon. I think he's there right now for a second visit. Oregon wants him. They're recruiting the 2 top quarterbacks in the nation, and he's one of them. I still think he'll come to Iowa, but and then Iowa offered a just in case quarterback from Tennessee, he's a burly guy, kind of built like Gronk. He's 6'3", 210 pounds. He can really run the ball and throw the ball too. Looking at his numbers, he only had like 300 yards rushing last year, 1,100 yards passing. Obviously, he was not in an air raid or a West Coast offense. You know, they ran the ball a lot. So, but he's supposed to be very good too. So, anyway, that is the football report. If Dean wants to lead me through the rest of it, so
I will do that. But I want to go over I think these are 10 Hawkeyes right here that are expected to get drafted. I just wanted to talk real quick about where they're expected to get drafted. Jennings Dunker, 3rd round. Logan Jones, 3rd or 4th round. Max Llewellyn, 4th round. Bo Stevens, 4th or 5th round. TJ Hall, 6th round. Cajun Weegan, 6th round. Carson Shar, 7th round. Drew Stevens, anywhere 7th round or free agent. Mark Gorowski, 7th round or free agent. And Xavier Wampa, 7th round or free agent. I don't know what our record is for having Hawkeyes getting signed as a free agent and draft, but it looks to me like we having 10. If we get 10 in there, we're on way to a record. I think I don't ever remember getting 10 in one season. By the way, I just want to say hi to Doc P. He says hello, fellows.
cool.
So hello, fella. Back to you.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more than them 10 that get signed as free agents, like Seth Anderson and Aaron Graves, and you know, there's probably gonna be like 16 of them. Hayden Large, he'll probably make a roster as a blocking tight end, you know, but and that's just one guy's opinion you had up there. I've seen TJ Hall, even though he doesn't run very fast, he ran a 4.59 40, which is not, it's like probably the lower half of cornerbacks that had their draft pro days and stuff. But I've seen TJ Hall's, he's such a good cover person. I've seen some people have him being drafted in the 4th round instead of the 6th round. So we'll just have to wait and see, Dean. So
Yep. Okay. Well, we're gonna go into the women's portal and women's news and stuff. The first thing I just want to say is Chad Lysical put a thing out there today, and at least one of them has some merit, I think, and that Tegan Mullaney will be going probably to Wisconsin because that's closer to home. She has a desire to be closer to home and be near her family during this tragic time that she's going through. And then Callie Levine is supposedly headed to South Dakota State, but again, there's nothing official on that. But that's Chad Lysical putting that out there for people to see. Nothing on where Kenise Johnson or Addie Deal are going yet, although, you know, people have their speculations. So somebody told me Notre Dame today, maybe for Addie Deal.
I don't know. She's I would say Fulgaris is the most talented person. Not Fulgaris, but Emily Rodriguez is such a tremendous athlete, great big hands and all that. But she was kind of a problem at Iowa this year, obviously. She's the real talent of the bunch, I think. But Addie Deal is the one that is the only one that we got to really make up any statistics from anybody that we're losing. And I'm sure Addie will hook on at UCLA or Stanford or Tennessee, someplace. because
I just don't see her.
She'll have good demand.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree, but I mean, she's leaving looking for playing time. Didn't feel like she got the playing time she wanted at Iowa. Thought she deserved more, and according to people like Chad and other people, she was upset that she thought she should have started ahead of Stremolo. So she had her chance to prove that, and she just didn't get the job done.
Like I say, I just wish all of them.
Best of luck.
Denise, Callie, Addie, Emily, and Tegan, all of them, great luck.
Yeah.
I don't really care where they go unless they go to a Big Ten team or Iowa State where we're gonna play them or something. It don't matter to me too much. I'm more focused on who will end up getting. There's 1,000 girls in the portal. I'm sure we'll get 7 people to replace who we lost. So
yeah.
Anyway.
No, we do need that. Okay, so Doc wants to know if there's anybody in the portal. Do we have any leads on? I know that you've been sending some things today, and I got some pictures of some things that you sent today. Stanford, Doc thinks Stanford will get deal. I've been hearing rumors to Stanford as well.
A week ago, or whenever our last thing was, I just had this feeling. I said she visited Stanford, back in the day before she committed to Iowa, and that sounds like a place that she'd probably go and get time, and
so here are some people that
we've got 2 girls that we know. One girl already visited, Hare from Iowa State. Mm-hmm. She visited her. She was there for 24 hours, and that ended last evening or whatever. And then the other girl we know is visiting is she visiting Sunday is Brueggemann, who's one of the top portal people. She's from what, Lindenwood?
Yeah, Lindenwood. Yeah. Darn it, I forgot to get her picture. I meant to put her picture up, her and the girl from Iowa State. But I think they both have other schools that they're checking out, which is probably wise. Okay, Doc just asked about the Texas player. Here she is. Her name is Crump.
Yep, from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And she was right. Iowa was right in the running. She played her freshman year at Texas, played great defense as a freshman. And I would expect the 2 girls that were top 15 recruits in the Addie Deal class that I would expect will be in on are Crump and then Jordan Spicer. Spicer went to Kansas State, and she set a Big 12 tournament record for consecutive 3-pointers, a couple weeks ago or something. Them two girls would be right there. I was kind of surprised Crump left Texas because her best friend was like Bjorn, who's coming to Texas to play. But
she's got to do what's best for her, right?
Okay. Yeah, we haven't. The 2 girls I mentioned are the only 2 that we've heard. We know either visited Iowa or going to, but those are 2 gals. Crump, who's kind of a forward, and Spicer. I think Spicer was she from South Dakota or someplace? Could be wrong with that. Okay. But
what about this one I got on the screen right now from North Carolina? What do you think of her? This is one of the ones that people.
She went to UCL. She's. I've seen her play in Carver Hawkeye Arena. We recruited her out of high school, and she's the one that tripped Lucy Olson at the end of the UCLA game last year, and then Lucy fell into the UCLA player that got they called a foul on Lucy for the free throws. But anyway, she played this year at North Carolina. She was at UCLA, went to North Carolina.
Now
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe she's going to visit Iowa. Maybe she's going to go back to UCLA. But good player.
Yeah. And the final picture I got up is this girl from Butler. I don't know much about her. I can't even say her name.
That's a guy.
That's a guy?
Yeah, that's Blitzkrieg or whatever his name is.
Okay, so he'd be a men's interest. Sorry about that.
He's got long hair, but he's a guy. He was coached by Connor McCaffrey. Real good offensive player. Boy, he sure don't play no defense. I don't know if Ben will be too darn interested in him. We'll get to the men people later. But.
Yeah. Okay. Doc wants to know, why did Greenwood's daughter go to Kentucky? I believe you said she wanted to get out from under her father's shadow and not have that pressure at Iowa.
Yeah, that's what. At first, when she was a seventh grader and she got the offer from Lisa Bluter, she said right on the internet, "I'm going to be a Hawkeye." Like that. But I think the constant chatter about being Chad Greenway's daughter, and then she got a couple $1 million to go to Kentucky. So I don't know if that's for 4 years, or I would imagine that's 4 years.
So, other than the two that you mentioned and the couple pictures I put up, is there anybody else that Iowa could be in on? Or is Jan playing this pretty close to the vest?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Who are some of the others?
There's a high school girl who decommitted, Trinity Jones, from Illinois, who was where the heck was she going? Clemson, I think. And she's a top 10 player, but she's a gal that we could try getting again. We tried like heck getting her before. Every time a girl from Illinois decommits someplace, I always think, oh shit, that Illinois coach is going to end up with her. But
could be, because she's building a program there.
Okay, I got Crump and Brugman wrote down, and Hare, Spicer, who I already mentioned. The 6'3" guard forward from Tennessee. Of course, Tennessee lost all their players. She's a gal that Lysandra Barrett, I think I'm pronouncing Coach Barrett's name right, is following. And then I wish Rick was on here. He suggested a 6'3" power forward who kind of reminds you of Parchman a little bit, from Miami of Ohio. And she's from the Netherlands or someplace, which we have a bunch of field hockey players from the Netherlands. That could be. And then there's Chit Chat. There's two guards that Chit Chat played with at Georgia Tech that left Georgia Tech, and Lysandra Barrett, of course, coached them. And they're both, we need a ball handling guard, and we need shooters, we need a ball handling guard, it'd be nice to have a 6'3" girl that can, so Journey Houston don't have to play power forward with Walitsko, but them two ball handling guards from Georgia Tech, don't ask me what their name is. And we just mentioned a UCLA North Carolina girl. You put her picture up. So that's the girls I have, but there's, like I said, there's 1,000 of them out there. And like I said before, to replace what we lost as far as stats, if you got the Hare girl to come, she would replace all the stats we lost. Right. She's from Iowa State, and a real good. She shoots the last 2 years that she was somewhat healthy, she shot 40% from 3 points.
Mhm.
3 points, you know, but
Well, I keep saying, and I'll go to my grave saying this, is that Callie Levine should have been used more this year, and I think we're going to find out what a valuable player she could have been.
I don't know. Depends on where she goes. Depends on where she goes. If she goes to some little smaller program like Drake or something where she doesn't play great competition, we can't really look at her stats and say, "Oh, look what she'd have done at Iowa."
Yeah,
You know. So
I
that's
know. I know.
I'm just gonna go on with who we got. You know. So.
Yeah. Yep. I know. Yeah, I saw a TikTok today where somebody was using an expression when he says, "When you just found out your favorite players in the transfer portal." Okay. Doc says we need some help for Hayden. Hopefully that's going to be from McKenna Velisco. A little bit of
Well,
help there because she'll be
Layla
a
will back
4.
her up.
Yeah, Layla will be the backup, and I'm just hoping that Layla will actually. I think Layla. I hope Layla improves as much as Ava Hayden did this year. Hack says, "Nice shirt, Calvin."
Yep.
Yeah. So that's his contribution to the NIL. Does
For
Lisa have
Journey.
enough? He does. Yeah. Obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you see what I sent you today? What Lysandra Barrett? I love Lysandra Barrett. She's like the Kirk Ferentz and the Kelvin Bell of women's basketball. She just tells them off right in post. You know, some of you 5-stars ain't as good as you think you are. You know, she said that when a certain player left Iowa. And then today she put up, some of you girls that hear how much you're worth on the NIL market, you're finding out today that it just ain't true. You know, so they probably had girls that either left the program or are coming to Iowa that think they're going to get, you know, $300,000, you know, and they're just a person that didn't play a lot where they came from, you know, but Iowa's got enough money in NIL in the women, and we got enough money in the men's now as long as we keep donating. So, anyway, if that was the question, about NIL for Jan.
Yeah. What I want to know is, does she have enough money to go after some of these big name players? I mean, she's practically got her starting lineup coming back, plus her 6th player off the bench. So, I mean,
yeah, I don't know that. I don't think Jan looks at it that way. I think Jan tells herself, you know, well, I know Ava's probably starting, but I think like Mr. Walitsko, I posted that video up all over Facebook. If people listen to it, he said, you know, Iowa never promised us any playing time or anything. And he said, I would recommend that any coach that promised you a starting position and playing time do not go there, because they're probably promising everybody that.
correct.
You know, so I'm not looking at it as Journey's going to start next year. Walitsko's going to start. Stremlo's going to start. You know,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as everybody's going to show up on a 13 people on the team and compete. You know,
Correct. So, Hack says that Greenway got $2 million to go to Kentucky. There's another good reason to go to Kentucky. So I wouldn't think that anybody who's looking for the highest payday is not Iowa material anyway, because you know, just like McKenna Velisco, not looking because I don't know if anybody else heard, but in that same interview, the dad said they left money on the table. Iowa was not the highest bidder. And so
that is correct.
they said McKenna wanted to come to Iowa, and that's what it was.
And I don't know that any of these gals were going to get out of the portal or like these 5-star superstar players that are all Americans at another team, like Audie Crooks, and they're going to come to Iowa. Those are the ones that get, the $1 million contracts. I don't, of the people that we're recruiting that I'm looking at, I'm not seeing a bunch of them that were, all Americans at another school.
And does the Swarm have enough money? Somebody said that after Ben took the men to this Elite Eight, there was a huge influx of cash geared for the men's basketball.
Obviously, there was. Obviously, there was. I sent money. But yes, that is true that there was an influx of money, probably influx to Beth to help pay for his new contract, and an influx in NIL to the Swarm.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kakert put up right before I got on here that guess what? Where centers last year was making $3 million, now this year it's $5 million. So I would just caution all fans out there to please, if you can, just donate a little money to help Ben. He told North Carolina to get lost. Appreciate it. Can you believe that we got to the Elite Eight this year, Dean?
This is like,
I just can't believe it. Every day I wake up and it's like, did we really do that?
Yeah. I just want to know what Connor and Fran had to say behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't care.
The rumors about Connor coming to be on the Iowa staff. Who starts these things, these lies?
Well, just crazy people.
Just like I think there's a couple of websites, Kate Martin Fan, I think it's called, and Hawkeye Hoops or something like that it's called, starting these rumors that we got the number one recruit committed to Iowa. I don't even know what his name, but in fact he went to Missouri.
Yeah. And I think Rob Brooks fell for it last night. He had his live TV show on and he goes, Audie Crooks went to Oklahoma. And I thought, Rob Brooks is a play-by-play man for Iowa. He helps out with football, radio, and everything. And I thought, Audie Crooks went to Oklahoma. So I sent people messages. Rob Brooks says, and then I haven't seen a darn thing posted about it. But so I bet it was some AI thing.
Well, it has to be. I saw that too, where I think the headline says Audie Crooks replaces Beers.
Well, that's what I speculated a week ago when people said, would Audie Crooks fit in at Iowa or wherever? And I go, hell, she'd fit in any place. She scores 28 points a game, gets 8 rebounds. She just ain't good on defense. I mentioned, I think you mentioned UCLA or something. I mentioned that hell, she'd fit in great at Oklahoma because they're losing the big body girl Beers. And, but that's kind of where I thought she was going to go, was Oklahoma. But
the thing with Audie Crooks, and I don't know where she'll end up. I know that offensively she's a talented player and she can pull down rebounds. But her defense lacks. She doesn't put enough energy into it. And in Oklahoma, we know how Oklahoma plays. They play a torrid defense. And so I just don't know if she's going to be a fit there. But you never know. You might be able to build the defense around her. Okay. All right.
I just think she fit in all right at Iowa State. Why wouldn't a good coach be able to fit her in? Play zone defense while she's playing. Have her play 20 minutes a game and she'll still score 22 points a game. I'd take that. But
Hackwell says Connor went crazy on a radio host show who was talking positive about Ben. I think Connor's a little mad about the whole thing.
I seen
oh man, I wish I could have seen that. I did see a clip where somebody read a comment from Connor that was to him.
I don't trust that Portnoy guy, but what turned out this week was he said Caitlin blocked him because he brought it up on a show that Connor called him, or it was live on the show. And anyway, it turned out Caitlin didn't block him. She just didn't get his text because she was on a plane flying at the time. She got back to Portnoy this week. And then other people say it wasn't Connor that actually contacted him, but it was Margaret. Okay, but I don't really, that stuff I don't really care. I think that Portnoy guy is just he's what he calls a headliner. He wants clicks, he wants views, and he's a Michigan fan, so I don't like him.
Well, he's a happy man this week.
I'm sorry, I'm biased,
Should we actually what do I want to say? Congratulate Michigan on a Big Ten team winning the national championship.
You got to pronounce it right. It's me cheat again.
Me cheat again. Me cheat again.
Yeah, I bought Oracle stock at one time this summer. Now it's not true, but Larry Ellison, the owner of Oracle, he's a guy with 20-year-old wife or something that's a Michigan fan that gave Michigan all this money for the quarterback and all this money for 5 portal starters for the national championship team. So
yeah,
anyway,
I didn't realize that until they mentioned it on during the game that all 5 of them were transfers.
And that May for Michigan is a great coach. It's like Cignetti is a great coach. But it's no coincidence that these teams that are winning national championships, Michigan football team cheated with Harbaugh to win the national championship. Then Ohio State had a $35 million football team in NIL, and they won the national championship. And now Cignetti wins it with his 2 or 3 billionaires. It takes a really good coach to win a national championship, but they're also buying them.
They're buying players. Like they used to say, the New York Yankees used to buy the World Series title.
Now the Dodgers do.
Yeah, now the Dodgers do. But I was listening today while I was out dashing today, ESPN radio, and I can't think of the name of the host. They got some funny names, but they were talking about why the Big Ten, has gotten the last 3 football championships, how they got the women's and the men's basketball championships this year. And they said, and I love the answer. He said, well, it's because the Big Ten now is on equal footing with all that money because now they can legally buy the players. Where he says, SEC, or actually he said the teams down south were doing money under the table before it was legal.
That's right. Well, it's the truth.
And he says now we're on an equal playing field, But I mean, not all teams are on an equal playing field, but there are some teams that can compete with the SEC teams now, and Indiana has proved that. So, and Ohio State proved it, and Michigan the year before that.
I don't know what year it was, but anyway, I was a trainer at a Procter & Gamble warehouse, and I was training this kid who was an All-American football player from Harvey Thornton or something in Chicago, and he had been recruited out of high school by Alabama, LSU, and Miami. And I said, well, did you consider Iowa? And he said, oh, my high school coach said they got the best coaches in the country. He said, but they didn't have a big enough payroll. And this was, that particular year was the year that LSU and Alabama played. They were number 1 and 2 during the regular season. It was probably 2010 or 11. And the final score was like 3-0 or something. I think that was the final score because that was when Nick Saban wasn't even throwing the ball. But that kid told me at that time, he said, I went to LSU and they offered me a brand new 4-wheel drive Dodge pickup and money. And then he said, I went to Miami and they offered me money and jewel. Inner city kids are big into gold chains.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and then Alabama, they offered me money. And I just watched that game that night and I had a different view. Them people are cheating, and that was, 15 years ago, so yeah, it's all true, Dean. So,
yes, I know.
yeah.
I don't want to believe it, but I have to believe it. But
Now Kirk said at his press conference the other day, he says, I'm on more of an even playing field now because he has revenue share. He still doesn't have this gigantic NIL coming in, but he's got $15 million in revenue share that if he needs a quarterback or something, he can go get him. So.
Okay. Hackwell says Iowa did the same thing, though. Iowa gave players Jeeps, though.
That's what I heard. I heard Hack say that about the kid from Williamsburg or wherever he was from, but I've never known that to be positively true. But I know that I played golf with Booker Scott's brother, and he told me the story about Booker Scott. Donnie Duncan Booker Scott was from Davenport Central, where Roger Craig and them come from, and he was a top running back in the state of Iowa. And Donnie Duncan promised him a Trans Am if he came to Iowa State. And Booker Scott, Hayden come and talked to Booker, and Booker told Hayden what Iowa State offered him, and Hayden told him, well, we can't give you that, but I can get you a job where you will have a car to drive. And he did at the auto dealer at Durant, Iowa, Alpens. Booker Scott had to work his rear end off, but he got a car to drive around. He didn't own the car or anything, but it was like leasing a car.
Yeah. Well, Hackwell says that Blake Larson got a brand new Jeep. Blake Larson, did he even play it down for Iowa?
He was about the number one offensive lineman in the country, but Blake Larson hurt his back at Iowa. Mm-hmm. And so that's why he didn't play a lot.
Yeah, Hackwell says he's from my hometown. I know this for a fact. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not saying it. But I think it's more plausible that it's more like how Kelvin just described it, that he
I don't know.
It was his to use while he was at the school, but he also had to work for it too.
I don't know. He might have got that truck as payment. I don't know. I'm not saying either way because I don't know.
Yeah. So okay, it says Doc says he came in with Roth, and Hackwell says he's now a police officer in Kansas City.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So his back couldn't be too bad. You can't have a bad back and be a cop.
I'll be sitting around eating donuts. He can.
Oh gosh.
A lot of difference between getting hit by 300-pound people every day in practice and in games and being a cop. So
yeah. So I learned something about some police officers today here in Bakersfield. Well, yesterday first. While I was out dashing, I ran into 2 major car accidents. And regular police cars don't show up for that. Police maintenance vehicles with pickup trucks show up at those accidents. But the one was so bad, I swear to God, there was about 10 cop cars there yesterday. And there was a pedestrian covered up on the sidewalk.
Oh, sure.
And the reason why I know this is because that was on my path and I had to turn around, but I did see everything before I turned around and went to a detour.
I'm sure.
But the other one that couple hours later, I saw another accident, 3-car accident, and this poor little sports car was crushed in between two huge vehicles. It's like there was a chain reaction. One ran into the one and one went into the other. And it was just like a little.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, but again, it was just the police pickup trucks that were there. There weren't any cop cars.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have people that definitely go out and do accidents because
one thing I sent you today that we didn't mention was that is her name Addie Brown or whatever from Iowa State.
Yes.
She has a no contact. A lot of these girls have no contacts, which means they'll contact you if they're interested in you.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily
but anyway,
mean...
that Brown, she was Oklahoma State and maybe TCU and somebody else. She's not visiting Iowa. So
yeah. I didn't think they were all going to come.
I knew all of them were coming.
I didn't think we are going to have an Iowa combo team.
No.
But if we can get one of them, that would be a good start because every one of them most of them are that way.
Yeah.
Wow, I think we just sold my house.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I was looking.
You got 1 point something million dollars in your pocket.
Not my pocket. Trust me.
You can buy $100,000 home, nice $120,000 home here in the Quad Cities, and then you won't have to worry about door dashing anymore. So.
We're already working on my next home. It's going to take quite the remodel, but it's going to be done cheaper than buying a new one. A little bit of a fixer upper.
You're probably going to stay in California.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This depends. If God shuts the door on this remodel, then probably not. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Now, I can afford to stay here. I can afford to stay here if I can get this place.
I'm just saying you can move back this way and you'll be setting fine financially the rest of your life. So anyway. Anybody got any more questions before we move on to the men?
Nothing?
What?
Nothing from anybody?
Okay. I just think, the women obviously need a couple, three people to knock down 3-pointers, and they got to have a ball handling guard to either start with Chit Chat or back up Chit Chat and Stremlo, and it'd be nice to have somebody that's 6'3" or 6'2" who can play that power forward position so Journey can go play where she's happy, which is small forward. Because you cannot be a power forward and be 5'10", whatever Journey is. That was crazy. She did a great job this year, but it's crazy when you try playing UCLA or somebody at that size.
Yeah. Did anybody just see my wife poke her head in the door just now?
Nope. Okay. Didn't see her. I looked, but
yeah,
she didn't.
But I think that Lindenwood girl, Brueggemann. I think she's a hell of a 3-point shooter. I think she'd be a great addition on the 3-point. But we definitely got to have some 3-point shooters because, Stremlo fell off at the end of the year and wasn't hitting them, and Feuerbach always was inconsistent. And would you say she had 27% 3-point shooting for the year?
Callie was 11%, and Feuerbach was 27%. I wouldn't worry about Stremlo. She shot like close to 40%.
Yeah, just imagine if she could have kept that up.
She had a cold last game, but you need more than and actually I think Journey Houston shot 33%. with the few that she took, but she shot close to 40% her senior year in high school here at Davenport North. But you still need more people than that because somebody can get injured.
Yes,
somebody
you do.
can be cold.
Yeah. And I think Journey with her possibly moving to the three spot this year, next year, it sounds to me like that'd be a good spot for her. She'll get more opportunities to shoot that three up or drive to the hole.
And Wolitsko can hit a 3-pointer from the corner. You've seen her do it a lot in high school. And the thing you have to say about Addie Deal was over 30% from three. She'd get cold once in a while, but Addie Deal's a good shooter. You could tell that she had a very good shot.
Yeah.
She
that's why I wish she would have stuck around because I have a feeling she'd have been playing a lot more this year. But
it's like Layla Hayes, Journey, and Addie. The best thing that happens to a freshman is they become a sophomore.
Yeah.
Layla Hayes will be a completely different player next year. I quote Jan all the time because people on these message boards, they just throw these Iowa players under the bus all the time. I get so tired of it, and throw Jan under the bus. Good God, we got a good coach, won 27 games. And they just throw Layla under the bus like she's no good. Well, I quote Jan. Jan Jensen said in her news conference that Layla Hayes is the best post prospect she's ever had at Iowa.
Mm-hmm. She's going to be just fine. She's going to be just fine. I'm not worried. She's going to be just fine. Just like I thought Addie Deal would be just fine.
And big post players like that, she's got the power. She's very tall. All she got to do is work on her footwork and calm down.
Yeah. Well, here's the best thing that's going to happen is Layla Hayes is moving in with this summer is moving into the same apartment with Hayden, and so they can go work out together. And you know who the third roommate's going to be?
Wolitsko? Because I know they were talking on the On3 thread today about poor Ava. Her two roommates were Addie and Tegan.
Yeah, and they're both gone.
Right now, nobody living with her is like.
Sorry, Ava. Sorry, Ava. We can't handle you. Even all the good cooking you did, you got to go. Was it Ava or Layla that did all the cooking? I can't remember.
They say to Ava, "What did you do to them? Why did you make them leave? Were you following them too? So anyway,
But anywho, that's who her roommates will be, and I have a feeling Ava's going to be a big help to Layla for next year. So,
can I mention something before I forget it?
Go ahead.
Okay, we all seen that. I don't know what the Iowa women were like. Were they 12th and 16th in the postseason poll?
Yes.
Okay, and the men were 15th. And like 21st or something in the two polls. But I seen the women and the men for next year. They already put out poll for next year. The women are 9th, even though all these people are running around with their heads cut off because we're down to 6 players, But the prognosticators, they know that Iowa's going to get portal players, and they're probably going to be better than the ones they lost. So the prognosticators have them 9th next year. And I think was the Iowa men 19th or something.
Oh, for next year? I don't remember what that was. I was just kind of looking at this poll. We beat Nebraska
twice
in the Sweet 16 to go to Elite 8, but yet they're ranked ahead of us in this poll. How come we're not top 8? Because
I was shocked. I was shocked that we were that high because we weren't even in the poll going into the NCAA tournament. No. We weren't in the top 25. I think we were in the top 25 like twice all year. So I thought, well, with this good run, we'll get up to 20th. Or I predicted 19th or 20th because I had that question on 3. And I said the women probably dropped down to about 10th.
Well, even Texas made it in the poll at 22. Wisconsin came in at number 25, so they must have had a really bad tournament.
Well, they lost to High Point. If they went by how you did in the tournament, how come High Point ain't in there? I think they went too. I think they went too much by how you did in the tournament.
I think so, because you see the Gators are at number 9.
Yeah, they were number 1 or 2 going in before that.
Yeah.
And the Iowa, the women's poll's the same thing, Dean. They got Michigan at number 6 or 7, and Iowa just kicked Michigan's rear end twice in the women.
It's because we didn't do what we were supposed to do and get to the Elite 8. We weren't supposed to end. We weren't. Our seeding says we weren't supposed to end our run until we got to the Elite 8.
We were 7th in the. We were 7th in the country, and in the second round we had a game where we just went ice cold and lost. So they dropped us all the way down to 15th or whatever.
But you see, Virginia got ranked, and their coach gets fired. Virginia makes a nice little run in the tournament. And
so you see they got an Iowa guy coaching them now?
No, who's coaching them now?
His last name's Roussel. He's a graduate of Iowa. It's a guy. And he coached at some little school in Minnesota. And then he went to the University of Chicago, which used to be a Big Ten school. Now they're like a Division 2 or 3 women's school. And anyway, he ended up he's a young guy, but he's coached like 12 years as a head coach at a good school and did real well. And they hired him at Virginia. I kind of wonder, with looking at his last name, I asked people he graduated from the University of Iowa. I wonder if and he graduated from the University of Iowa in like 99 or 2000. I said, I wonder if he's Mark Roussel's brother.
Did you look it up?
It doesn't tell you any place. I tried. I looked up Mark Roussel and it didn't say nothing. And I looked up this Roussel. I can't remember what his first name is, to see what town he was born in, what town he came from. It won't even tell you. Wow. Just that he was a graduate of the University of Iowa. But the Wikipedia, he was a nobody kind of, so they didn't have this big write-up about him. Probably will in a week or so.
Yeah, somebody will write something up on him.
Anyway, he's a new coach at Virginia. And I asked on 3, I said, I wonder if he's from Monticello, Iowa, and would be Mark Roussel's, was a tight end for Hayden from about 90 to 95, But anyway.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the men. Today I noticed, you may have sent it to me or I may have seen it elsewhere, that Falgaris was supposed to have a meet and greet next week, I think, and it's been canceled. Okay. Now they're saying it's because of international rules and NIL rules don't mesh. No. Mm-hmm. But I think it's more like after he met with Ben today, he's going to jump in the portal. And his agent probably said, we got to cancel where he's not going to be a Hawkeye anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if Callie's got canceled too or not. But Callie was supposed to have one for Bridge Bank or CBI Bank or something that says meet Hawkeye, Callie Levine.
Yeah. I wonder, I think it's Hills Bank. What? I think it's called Hills Bank that she represents. And so did Deal. I just wondering if Callie will be able to keep that deal when she goes to her new school, or if because she'll be out of state.
I heard this the day that Addie Deal entered the portal, that her NIL quit that day, and I'm sure that's the way with Miss Levine, unless it's some local thing, And I'm sure it's the same thing with Falgaris and Emily Rodriguez. But Falgaris, we don't know. He's in. I put up a post before I come on here. I just said, "Thank you, Alvaro." because I wanted people to know that I thank him for coming to Iowa, whether he's in the portal or he ain't. I wanted to thank him because whatever he got paid this year, he earned it in 2 games. So
Yep. He got the he basically got the winning shot against Florida, and he got that dunk against Nebraska that basically sealed the game.
2 of them against Nebraska. So
yeah.
But I just wanted to thank him for coming. I enjoyed his personality and everything, and maybe he's going to be at Iowa. I don't know. They said if he left Iowa, he loved Iowa. If he left Iowa, it's because Ben was going to give him a pay cut. That's what I heard. So I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll probably get off this. We'll get off this pod tonight, and it'll be all over the internet. That he's in the portal or he ain't. Or something. Because whenever we get off these podcasts, there's always news is broke while we're sitting here talking. But.
Okay.
But I don't think Alvaro's going to be back, but I don't know that for sure. Tom Kakert says he doesn't think he's going to be back. And
yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people assume he's going. And they haven't been wrong. I mean, these are the same ones that, but I mean, it was easy to know that Mulaney was going to go. It was easy to know that Kenise Johnson was going to go. I think Callie was a bit of a surprise, except for the one person that you said was an ex-coach from Solon working with the Las Vegas Aces now, who actually predicted that she was leaving. So he knew something, but he's probably good friends with the Levine family and knew that already.
But he predicted all of them leaving. I don't think he predicted Deal, but
he did not predict Deal.
He predicted all of them leaving.
He said 5 would leave. Is that how many that left?
No, he said he's listed 4, and he listed who they were.
Yeah.
This was a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Which we all heard the rumors and everything, and I'm not saying he knew for sure. I'm just thinking that that's what he thought was going to happen, and he probably knew it pretty well. And
okay, so we're going to get this guy from Butler. What does he bring?
I hope not.
Okay.
he's a good offensive player, but he can't guard nobody as far as what I've heard. But I think that McCollum's got other guys. He's got a 6'11" or 7-foot post from Louisville, who they say we're close on. The big McKeever guy from St. Mary's or wherever he's from, he's in on him. And then there's a Bonky kid or something that's 7'2". He's in on him. Then today, I never heard anything, but today that real good big power forward from Nebraska went in the portal. He's a good rebounder, shooter.
Which one is he? I can't remember which one.
He's got a funny last name, Bushavelli, or I don't know, something like that.
Was he a starter?
I think so. Bushavel? Does that sound right? Bukavel or something? I don't know. And then there's a 6'8" guy since Alvaro left. It was a sophomore at East Tennessee State.
Wait a minute, Alvaro hasn't left yet, so don't say it in present tense.
I said if Alvaro leaves, the 6'8" kid from East Tennessee State. Okay. Have you heard anything about Alvaro while we're on the air? Or?
No, I was actually looking to see if anything. What I was doing is because if anything, I would be under Chad Lysicles. I've been looking at his text because when this stuff happens, he breaks it first.
And one of the top point, and we know that Ben wants a point guard, and the top one of the top 2 or 3 point guards is the Colorado point guard, but the expense for him is ridiculous, and people are saying he's going to go to Kentucky maybe or something, or Arkansas. I don't know. And then the guy Ben really likes was at Colorado State that point guard's from Colorado, and then the point guard that was from Colorado State that played for Medved last year is real good, and his name's Evans, and he went to North Carolina this year and didn't have a great year at North Carolina, but Ben would really like him. But a lot of people think that because he played for Medved, who's a Minnesota coach, that he might go to Minnesota. And then the other point guard that was listed here late before I came on is the point guard from Liberty. And one reason that the Johnson kid from Colorado is perfect for Ben, but the one thing, he kind of costs a lot of money, and he's kind of a younger point guard, and Ben does not want to ruin, because he's in on 4 of the top 6 point guards in high school for next year, and he don't want to get some young point guard and ruin the recruitment of Daughtry from Florida, the point guard who's 6'3" from the state of Washington, the unbelievable point guard from Chicago, and then the point guard from St. Louis Vashon High School down in, I was kind of hoping that, and I mentioned it to you before and on here before, that maybe he'd get them to reclassify, get one of them junior point guards to reclassify and come play next year, a year early, like he did Trey Thompson. So did we mention on the last podcast, had Kuhn committed to Iowa yet?
I think he did, but let's bring it up anyway. We got Kuhn. We got Trey Thompson coming off next year off the red shirt.
And Ethan Harris.
So we got some 3 freshmen to build around that team. I mean, gosh, we're talking about, the team reaching the Elite 8. Is the pressure on to go further next year with Ben?
I was going to say got to have a really good point guard, but who knows? If Cale Combs got to shoot more, I can imagine Cale Combs averaging 14 points a game instead of the 6 this year, because he didn't get to shoot that much. And he's a tremendous athlete. And I would say he's the best defensive point guard in the Big Ten. He is awesome as a defensive player. But
yeah, I just wonder, any rumors being set, what Iowa State's actually looking at for transfers in, because I don't know, living out here in California, I'm not hearing anything, and I was just curious who Iowa State is targeting.
They're a really great player, Milicevic or whatever his name is, the great shooter. He's going to test out the NBA, but he'll be back next year, I think. I think he'll be and Peyton Sandfort, was going to test the NBA, but he got one of them athletic hernias.
Okay. Well, I just want to I want to bring this up real quick.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that if you want to know, Ethan Harris is like a 6'9" kid who's is athletic, but he's really skinny. He'd be like a Jared Utoff type guy from Washington. And Trey Thompson is just for his size, is very physical, and a super shooter and everything. I would say that he's be a physical Cooper Koch, And Jaden Kuhn is a 6'7" Cooper DeJean. He's an okay 3-point shooter, and he'll probably be a better 3-point shooter in college than he was in high school, because the only 3-point shots he pretty much put up in high school were desperation ones, when they had to get a shot off or something. But he just jumps over people. He's very physical, like Cooper DeJean, and can jump, but he's taller. He's kind of he's very built like Tate Sage or Eric May was when Eric played at Iowa. But what were you going to say, Dean?
Well, I just want to point out that I just saw this headline that Iowa women are sending 18 to Spokane for women's national championships for the wrestling. And it's also kind of a precursor to set up the USA Wrestling National Championship, but to set up the team and stage at the podium in Spokane. This is an event that's for everyone from under 8 to under 23. Of course, all Iowa's players will either be U20s and 23s. 13 Hawkeyes, current Hawkeyes, and 5 incoming freshmen are all registered to compete. 8 of those 18 wrestlers, 8 have previously have made an age level world team in their careers, and so that is kind of an interesting fact. Who knew that the women still had a season going?
Yeah. So is this a national NCAA tournament or like a USA wrestling tournament? Do you know?
I think it's a USA wrestling. It says
I think so too.
Yeah, USA Wrestling Women's National Championships have arrived.
I seen one of their real good wrestlers she had another year or so left, but she had to medically retire. I don't remember which one. I can't remember their names because I kind of follow it, but I don't follow it that well. I've seen there's a lot of good freaking NCAA wrestlers in the portal.
Yeah, I think Iowa's going to benefit from that, and they're going to get a new coach. The guy who was primarily the heavyweight coach quit the team. I'm sure he was asked to quit the team. Okay, here's the deal on Folgueras. Okay, they haven't got anything official yet, but here's a paragraph that's very telling. The Hawkeyes had a team workout earlier this week that Folgueras did not attend, per source.
Yeah.
Okay. The two sides are expected to meet again on Wednesday, which was today.
Yeah, that was on 3 yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, but it's I was finding it funny because I looked it up because it said posted 6 hours ago. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I seen it, but I didn't. I didn't want to say missed a team workout because I didn't know if it was true or not. But
yeah. Michigan freshman guard Winters Grady has entered the transfer portal. I guess he didn't get enough playing time. He only averaged 2 points a game, 1 rebound a game, and 0.2 assist. So had a career high 6 points against Rutgers.
There's some great men's basketball players in the portal. And some great women's basketball play. I mean, gals that were all conference is like best freshman in the country and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 2 of the top 10 freshmen, recruits. The Olivia Edwards and then that Trinity Jones, have decommitted. One was supposed to go to Tennessee, the other one to Clemson, and they're available.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the amount of talent that's available. Michigan will reload quickly.
Yes.
And so will Illinois.
All those teams will because of how great of a season they had. And I would think it would make it easy for Iowa to reload too, Ben. Mm-hmm. And then after all, I mean, all you got to do is hear that North Carolina wanted him to be their next coach, and so that should make you want to come and play for Ben.
But I noticed Illinois and Michigan are 2 of the biggest payroll teams the last 2 or 3 years in basketball.
Yeah.
Money makes a big difference. It's like Quentin Coleman, who really liked Iowa from the St. Louis area, 6'5" guard. He had Iowa in his final three, and then finally he said a month ago, he said, well, his dad told Tom Kakert that he's going to the highest bidder. Who was the highest bidder? Illinois. Probably gave him $3 million or something.
Yeah. Okay, so this Cayenne Evans, I think you mentioned him earlier, from Colorado State, and then had a year at North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, is he and he actually played ball with Cam Manuel?
Yep.
Is he as good, or maybe not as good because nobody really is that great? But can he run this team at point next year?
Ask Ben. Because Ben obviously is known about him, and Ben wants him.
Mm-hmm. He shot 47% from the floor.
I think he's got 1 year left. I think.
Yeah, that's what bothers me is I don't like 1-year players. I want 2-year players minimum.
But I just told you Ben wants a 1-year point guard because he's got all these good point guards that are juniors in high school lined up. He knows he's going to get one of them at Iowa.
Yeah, but I mean, unless he's going to play these guys as freshmen.
If he got a really, oh hell yes, Ben knows point guards. If he's got some point guard lined up in high school, like last year, he tried getting that Wagler kid who nobody knew about, and he was recruiting him to go to Drake, and then Illinois found out about him, and he's going to be a lottery pick. He led Illinois to the Final Four. Ben knows these guys. He just doesn't want to get a sophomore point guard that's real good, and then these freshmen won't come.
Yeah. So yeah, I got this. I'm looking at this Bunky guy from Charlotte, and he's 7'2". He makes he shot 57.6 from the floor, which he should at 7'2". He just has probably easy lay-ins and dunks. 34% from the three. So you got a 7'2" guy who can hit the three. But here's what bothers me: 65% from the free throw line. How does a person who can stand at the 3-point line and hit 34% can only hit 65% from the free throw line? He should be better than that.
Yeah. Some guys just have a problem at the free throw line. And a lot of guys that are 7'2" do. I don't know if their hands are damn big. I don't know what the deal is, but Wilt Chamberlain, Shaq, Bill Russell none of them guys could shoot a free throw. But Ben wants a rim protector and somebody that can compete against the big tall guys at Illinois and Michigan, So
okay. Yeah, I was just going through some of
the guy at Louisville, he's got a funny last name like I don't know, GNU or something, GNU or something. I guess Ben really, really likes him. And
yeah, so we okay. I don't know. Do we have anything else? I mean, we pretty much covered most of it, I think.
You didn't have any more viewer questions?
Nope. Hackwell was the last one when he said he was a police officer in Kansas City. We do currently have 25 viewers online right now that are not asking questions and not making comments, but we do appreciate you guys watching this episode. I do want to thank everybody who has been watching it and sharing it and commenting because what did last week's podcast? It's like
it was over 1,300.
Yeah, 1,300. So it's like our last 3 or 4 podcasts have gone well over 1,000. So
yeah, it's kind of weird, but
it's kind of weird.
How many subscribers do you have now?
I think we're about ready to go over 700.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now. It took us forever to go from 500 to 600, but from 600 to 700, we're moving at a pretty good clip, I think.
I think it's because of your good looks, Dean.
Oh, it has to be. Where else
I
would
think
they
so.
come?
I know it ain't my good looks, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I would like to tell everybody, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. It really would be help us out here. We can start getting some money and start making this thing more professional and do more with the show.
I think, Dean, that if men's basketball, women's basketball, and football are all going the direction that they appear to be going, you'll have more viewers next year.
Oh, yeah. We're at 694, so six more to get over the 700 hump. Boy, I would love to. I think we made the goal. Was it next football season to hit by 1,000? So
I don't know.
We got like 4 months. 4 months to get to 1,000. 4 or 5 months to get 1,000. Get to 1,000. So we're looking at 306 more viewers.
Yeah,
guys,
I don't have goals. I don't have goals like that. I just don't want Dean to fire me, because I got to pay the rent,
Yeah.
Dean pays me good,
Yeah, I pay everybody good that comes on this show. Everybody but me.
That's right.
The only person who doesn't get a paycheck. Okay, guys, I appreciate everybody watching.
I guarantee you, if Dean sent me any money, I would send it to the Swarm. I promise that. So.
Yep. Okay, so alrighty, I want to just remind everybody, share this out, please. Hit the like button. We're 6 away from 700 viewers, so let's get 700. Let's get 6 more this week. Let's see if we can get 6 more before we do our next podcast next week or later this week, depending on if there's any breaking news, because we will come on here when there's breaking news. And so keeping that in mind. So yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you yourself haven't already done so. And if you made it this far, I appreciate it. We appreciate you guys. And we appreciate your comments and everything else. So we're going to get out of here and say, go Hawks.
And we love all of you, except for the people we don't like. So.